There are two farmers, both working the same land with the same seeds under the same weather. But every year, one farmer manages to harvest twice as much food. He doesn't spend extra money. He doesn't use special fertilizers, flashy machines, or high-tech gadgets. People ask him all the time, what's the secret? He just grins. He knows something most folks never learned. Something that was quietly passed from parent to child for generation after generation, then stopped, almost overnight. Here's the surprise. This trick costs nothing. All you need is a bowl, some water, the seeds you already have, and to let them sit overnight. That's it. This is called seed priming, or more specifically, hydropriming. And when you do it right, studies show your seeds germinate up to 50% faster, and your harvest can climb by 30% to 80%. No chemicals, no machines, no added cost. Just water and old, reliable knowledge. This isn't hearsay. It's not another internet fad. University researchers across India, Pakistan, and sub-Saharan Africa have tested and proven this simple method, often in places where good harvests make the difference between hunger and enough to eat. Even the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN has reported on it for decades. Farmers in rural Ethiopia used seed priming to make it through droughts that wiped out their neighbors' crops. Ancient Egyptians soaked their seeds before every planting, and Japanese farmers practiced a version of this for generations, calling it Mizunai Tsukuru, which just means submerging in water. Nobody saw this as weird or fringe. It was ordinary, standard practice everywhere for thousands of years. So why have most of us never heard of it? Well, here, where things get real, the modern seed industry rakes in more than $60 billion a year. And their whole business, it's built on the idea that you have to keep buying seeds, coated seeds, treated seeds, hybrid, GMO, with fancy instructions and essential companion products. But if a farmer can take any cheap seed, soak it in water overnight, and beat the expensive commercial packets, that's not great news for a billion-dollar industry. It wasn't banned or outlawed. No smoke-filled rooms or grand conspiracies. It simply faded out as big agriculture took over. People left family farms for city jobs. Schools rewrote their lessons, and everyone started looking for the next big scientific breakthrough. Free, simple, effective ideas like seed priming got drowned out, not because they failed, but because, honestly, they worked too well to turn a profit. You probably already get this on some level. Think about how you feel in the morning after a night with no water. You're groggy, heavy, slow to get moving. Now picture waking up after hydrating well the night before, sleeping in a cool room and starting your day with a glass of water. Totally different. Seeds are the same. Seeds, when they leave the plant, go into a pause, a kind of suspended animation. Everything inside stops, waiting for a signal to wake back up. That signal is water. Nobody doubts seeds need water to grow. That's farming basics. The clever bit is what happens if you give seeds water before putting them in the ground. Here, what's going on? Every seed holds a tiny plant embryo nestled inside a shell, along with a built-in food supply called endosperm. It's all shut down and sleeping until water soaks in a process called imbibition. That's when everything switches on. Enzymes start breaking down food, plant hormones say grow, and the tiny root tip, called the radicle, gets ready to push out. Usually, a seed planted dry has to start all this from zero, in a dry, unpredictable world, competing with microbes, fighting swings in moisture and temperature. But if you prime the seed, soak it first, all these processes kick in before it ever touches soil. Once you plant it, the seed is already awake and moving, ready to burst through the dirt in days instead of weeks. In farming, speed is everything. So how do you do it? It's genuinely easy. Step 1. Pick your seeds. Hydropriming works best for vegetable seeds with tougher coats. Think tomatoes, peppers, corn, beans, squash, beets, carrots, melons. Almost any veggie seed will benefit. Step 2. Use room temperature water. Not hot kills the embryo, not cold shocks it. If your tap water has chlorine, just let it sit out for half an hour. The chlorine will evaporate. Step 3. Stick to the right soaking times. Small seeds, carrots, tomatoes need 4 to 6 hours. Beans or beets 8 to 12 hours. Big seeds like corn or squash 12 to 24 hours. Set a timer. More isn't better here. Step 4. After soaking, check your seeds. They should look plumper, some even showing a tiny white root. Perfect. Step 5. Plant right away in moist soil. Don't let the seeds dry out. They're activated and need to keep going. Step 6. Keep the top inch of soil moist for the first 3 days. Not soggy, just damp. That's when they settle in. That's the whole method. A bowl, some water, cheap seeds, and a bit of patience changes everything. Now, where do people mess up? The same few mistakes keep popping up. Mistake 1. Soaking seeds for too long. Don't let them sit for 2 days. They'll drown, run out of oxygen, and rot. Mistake 2. Using cold tap water. It can actually signal the seed to go dormant again. Always use room temperature. Mistake 3. Letting seeds dry out after soaking because you're not ready to plant yet. Once activated, seeds can't wait. Leaving them out damages the embryo. Plant right after soaking. Mistake 4. Putting pre-soaked seeds in dry soil. You might as well not have bothered. The process stalls or the seed dies. Mistake 5. Expecting every seed to respond the same way. Old and heirloom varieties often show dramatic improvement. Some commercial seeds are already chemically primed, so the effect isn't as obvious. For the biggest boost, use untreated seeds, the kind you can just save and reuse for free. If you only garden as a hobby, this still makes a difference. Faster germination, stronger plants, bigger yields, all from the same patch of dirt. But scale it up. Give this knowledge to a small farmer growing half an acre. They can earn thousands more in harvest. In a community garden, 20 families eat better. In a region, it can mean food security over reliance on outside help. This is why you'll hear about seed priming in agricultural programs in developing countries. No supply chains, no purchases, just people teaching people, old style. And if you're thinking, come on, if this is so good, how come everyone's not doing it? Well, they were, for thousands of years. But you need to do it right, getting the time, temperature, and planting just so. Is it safe? Completely. You aren't adding anything to the seed, just giving water, only a little earlier than nature would. Ancient Romans had a term for this, macerare semina, to soften the seeds. Farmers through history all over the world did this. Egyptians, medieval monks, people in China and Japan. Every major farming civilization landed on this same trick over and over again. Water, seed, time. But then industrial agriculture swept the board, and free ancient know-how got replaced by things you have to buy. Somehow, we stopped trusting free solutions, centuries old, that just work. Yet the seed doesn't care about profit or what year it is. It only responds to water, same as always. Sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is try something simple and ancient. If reading this changed the way you think about seeds, or farming, or all the little bits of wisdom we've lost over time, share it with someone who grows things, or just wants to. This knowledge has always belonged to everyone. And if you try it this year, let me know what happens. I'd love to hear.